always wonder what the other side looked like.
It's kind of gray and dusty. Well, I could show you.
Around here, we like to do things with a little more joie de vivre.
I fear that this may be it might be the last matinee. Then let's make it memorable. Hello, welcome to Bomb Squad Matinee. This is actually not the last.
It's the last of 2025.
It is the last of 2025, but it's not the last matinee. It's just a reference to the movie we're talking about this week, which is Turbo Kid. We're ending the year with a bang. One of my favorite movies, but I haven't introduced myself yet. I am the host today, Joseph Henry Vrenick, and today I have with me...
I'm Tim Emsel.
Hell yeah, it's the Tim and Joe show yet again. And it's gonna be fun. We're ending, like I said, we're ending the year on one of my all-time favorite movies, one of my favorite cult movies, Turbo Kid. But before we dive into the world of Turbo Kid, we're gonna start with the opening question of what is your favorite cult classic film? It can be a so bad it's good cult film. It can be a legitimately good cult film. It's just got to be a cult movie. Like, there's got to be a cult following around the movie. That's the qualifications we have for this question. Since Tim, you're my only guest, I'm gonna start with you. What is your favorite cult film?
Yeah, so if you are a longtime follower of the channel or just observing all of this, you may have noticed that cult films are kind of my milieu. Miss me with that mass appeal bullshit. I need niche, baby. Cult films tend to be where I have the most to talk about. They kind of appeal to me the most on a primal level. And there's been a lot that I've talked about on the show that I really love. And I think I'm going to highlight two that I've talked at length about, but that I have plenty to say about, which are The Evil Dead and Mandy. I think they're both significant to me in the moments they kind of came into my life. Like, The Evil Dead was one of the first horror movies that I watched when I started getting into horror in high school. And, prior to that, I'd seen some of the more, popular ones at that time. Like, this was around 2008, 2009. So I watched Quarantine, which is not a movie. It's not a movie that's really survived, like, cultural consciousness that much, besides, the joke of, hey, this movie has the final shot as the poster. That's kind of goofy. And then, I'd watched Children of the Corn, I'd watched Blair Witch Project, but, like, The Evil Dead was something that I think I'd seen in video stores before, and I was like, I wanna watch that. That seems interesting. I hear it's funny. And, like, that first one, I was expecting to be more, goofy, zany along the lines of the second and third movies, because that's kind of what had been advertised to me. But I think it is a funny movie. It's just a different, like, more dry, absurd kind of humor, which I actually really appreciate. And, like, that definitely instilled a fascination in me to, appreciate that kind of movie. Something... Evil Dead is by no stretch an obscure movie, but it's not like one of the most popular things in the world. Everybody's talking about it kind of movie, and so it made me kind of want to seek out more things like that are, sort of, underground gems, as it were. And then I, watched the later Evil Dead movies and grew to love them. And yeah, love the Evil Dead. And then Mandy is a movie that came out around when I was in my last year of college, and I watched it while I was doing pre-production on what would be my senior thesis film. And at that time, I had an idea that I kind of had to... I was interested in pursuing it, but then I kind of had to scrap it because I didn't really know how to write it. And then I started working on something that I was not quite as interested in, but felt like I could figure out how to make a movie for the grade. But I wasn't really passionate about it. And then I watched that fucking movie, and I was like, I want to make something like this. And that's kind of what inspired the aesthetic for what would end up being my senior film, The Other Side. So yeah, I guess overall, like, Evil Dead is the movie that made me want to seek out more cult movies, and Mandy is the cult movie that reminded me what kind of movies I want to make as a filmmaker. So that's why they're significant films to me. But I want to know what Joe's favorite cult movie is now.
All right. All right. Great picks. I figured that those were going to be your picks.
Well, when you
I just...
when you posed the question in the chat, I did ask, like, so is this movies that have cult followings, or is it movies about cults? Because I can say Mandy for either, but I just want to make sure.
Yeah, no, it was specifically cult followings, but it could be both. It really could. There's quite a few of those.
Yeah.
Surprisingly. But yeah, it's just like, yeah, I'm pretty sure he's going to pick Mandy or Evil Dead for that question. It's gotta be one of the two. Did not anticipate both.
Yeah.
I was also quietly anticipating you to throw a curveball.
Like, I did want to talk about, like, something that maybe I haven't talked as much about, but nothing was showing up that I was just like, that's the one that I gotta talk about on the show. So I was just like, I'm just gonna go with Old Reliable.
You know, Old Reliable, I mean, it's called that for a reason.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you can never go wrong with Old Reliable.
Yeah.
But enough about All Reliable. It's my time to shine and answer the question I posed as the opening question. So funnily enough, because whenever we do these opening questions, we tend to disqualify the movie that we're talking about. So, which I would honestly call Turbo Kid my favorite cult movie. But we're talking about that today, so I can't say that. And so then my next pick would have... It probably would have been Anna and the Apocalypse.
Yeah.
But we already talked about that. We got the director on for that episode.
Yeah.
You should go watch that when you're done here. It's a great episode. John McPhail's got a lot of fun insights on making that movie. You should go check it out when you're done here. So I was like, okay, if I can't pick any of those, what's going to be my answer? I think I'm just going to rattle off just like a couple that are my favorites, because I tend to lean a little bit more towards cult films. I mean, granted, I love my big stuff. I love my studio movies. But there's a pretty sizable amount of cult films that I like. So one that I kind of discovered recently is, and I got this for Christmas actually, I got the Blu-ray for it, is the Brian De Palma picture Phantom of the Paradise.
Ooh, that's a good one.
That is a fucking great cult movie. It's like, what if Rocky Horror, but it was a rock opera and better.
Yeah. As a fan of Berserk, I have to shout that out as a Berserk influence, because the femto armor that Griffith gets later in the series is inspired by Phantom of the Paradise, and it fucking rules.
Well, then it's funny you got to shout that out, because the other thing I got to shout Phantom of the Paradise out for is, and you absolutely can tell from not just the music, but like the look of that movie, specifically the costumes. But that movie in particular, it inspired my boys Daft Punk. The Phantom of the Paradise was a big influence on them.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they also worked with Paul Williams in the past, and Paul Williams is one of their biggest influences. So, of course, they fucking love Phantom of the Paradise. And you know what? Phantom of the Paradise is fucking awesome. People hype up Rocky Horror all the time, and Rocky Horror is fun and all. I think, because I think they both came out the same year even. I think Phantom of the Paradise has the edge for me.
Phantom of the Paradise is like a better movie. Rocky Horror is just like more of a fun, go to the theater and make a fool of yourself kind of movie.
Yeah, exactly. Sadly, you don't see people doing that for Phantom of the Paradise.
Yeah.
It could be fun, though. So yeah, that was one of them that I listed off. And the next one that I'm picking it was initially going to be my flat out answer. And yeah, it's technically a studio movie, but it flopped at the box office. But the people that saw it fucking loved it. It was a Lionsgate distributed movie, starring my boy Carl Urban. I'm talking Dread, baby. You ever see that movie, The Raid? Did you ever wonder what that movie would be like if it was a comic book movie? Well, that's basically Dread.
I need to rewatch Dread. Like, I didn't love it the first time I watched it, but I want to give it another shot.
Dread holds the fuck up really well. And I think what also helped it for me was I was like one of the lucky few who saw it in 3D. Which was arguably the way to see it. Like when you talk about the movies that were made for 3D, you talk like Avatar. You could talk like everyone says Doctor Strange. I saw it in 3D. I didn't get the hype around it, honestly. But the one that I did get the hype around from the folks that saw it was Dread, because those slow-mo scenes, in particular in like 3D, were something to behold, and man, oh man, it's a shame that we are not getting that goddamn sequel.
Yeah.
I remember being a part of that whole thing, signing petitions for the sequel. I bought my copy of the movie on Blu-ray like immediately when it came out, in the hopes that the Blu-ray sales would help it. Oh, how foolish we were back in the day. How foolish we were. Dread was another one. Another one that we talked about on the show already, that technically counts as a cult movie as well, is and it's also a comic book adaptation, is Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. That's another cult movie. As far as like so bad it's good movies that are cult films, I personally find The Happening to be a great one. Everyone loves The Room in some capacity or another. I've met Greg Sestero. I've had lunch with Greg Sestero twice. Good guy. Really good guy.
I've met Greg twice, and I met Tommy once.
Nice. I also really like Samurai Cop as a so bad it's good cult classic. But the last movie I'm going to list before we get into my all-time favorite cult film, it's getting a 4K in January, baby. When they announced it in October, it was after a long fucking month of just being fucking miserable, so it was nice to actually smile again. But Arrow's doing a 4K release next month. I'm fucking talking Snakes on a Plane, baby.
Let's go.
Snakes on a Plane may be the greatest movie ever made. Not I've had it with these monkey fighting snakes.
On this Monday to Friday plane.
Friday plane. It's the best, and we need to get on that commentary track here soon. Because I keep hyping it up. But none of those movies compare to Turbo Kid. a movie I love greatly, a movie that I kind of just discovered on a whim. It was like one of those movies that it just happened to appear on Netflix, and I took a chance on it knowing nothing about. And I fucking loved it. It is also the movie that made me say, fuck it, I'm gonna go to film school. Which, for better or worse, it made me decide to go to film school.
Are you ready to become a master in the art of kicking ass?
Yes.
Strike first, strike hard, show no mercy. That's it.
That's it?
Rebels!
But before I get deeper into my thoughts on Turbo Kid, Tim, I want to know your thoughts. I think this is your first time watching it, correct?
Yeah, this was a first time watch for me, and it was a fun time. I will say, and I kind of said this in my Letterboxd review, I think I would have liked it more if I had seen it closer to when it came out. Because I think I would have been, more the right age for it. Because, like, this movie came out when I was 30. I'm 32 now. This movie came out when I was 22. And when I was 22, I was, starting to watch more movies. Like, I wasn't quite into, like, film school yet. But this kind of thing probably would have been right up my alley, and like it definitely is of a particular flavor of retro sci-fi action comedy that was fairly prevalent in the like mid 2010s. Like it kind of reminded me of Kung Fury a lot in that way, which
I'm gonna bring Kung Fury up, trust me. It's gonna come up in my thoughts.
Gotcha. The consensus I seem to get is that most of the channel does not like Kung Fury. I liked Kung Fury when I watched it. I thought it was fun. But it reminded me a lot of that. It kind of, aesthetic-wise, reminded me of that Power Rangers short from the Dread director. It had a very particular, like, low-budget kind of DIY gory sci-fi vibe that felt familiar, but it was very fun. I think they made the most of that budget. I was looking it up a few days ago. I think it was something like 64,000 Canadian dollars, which I'll be honest, I don't know the exchange rate off the top of my head, so I don't know how that translates to US dollars, but I can imagine it's not a lot. But they made the most of what they had to work with, and I think, working with, sort of a more limited budget kind of forces creativity in some ways, with a lot of stuff like this, and it clearly had a lot of fun making it. There's a lot of great, like, like rust punk aesthetics, just fucking landfills full of like scraps and trash and everything, and you got a lot of fun, like, villain characters. Like, I love the guy with the fucking hockey pads and the skull mask, like, and the fucking buzzsaw arm. Like, that's just such a great aesthetic, and he's such a little douchebag, just fluffing the chair for the boss man every time. I love that he's so visually cool and like such imposing threat, but he's also such a little bitch. I think that's just a very funny kind of character writing, and the big boss man, I'm forgetting his name, but like he's such a good, like, love to hate him villain character. Yeah, the leads are very fun. I know you're going to be talking a lot about Apple when it's your time to shine, but Yeah, she's a really nice little like breath of light in this wasteland. And the lead is a pretty engaging character to follow. You just kind of see him start. He's on his little quest for vengeance, and he feels like he's got to be just like uh, totally cold and callous to get by, and then Apple kind of comes in and uh, warms him up a little bit, and also shows him, how to defend himself. Just eyes, throat, genitals. Uh, it's a very effective strategy. I love when the one fucking the big guy, I forget most of the characters' names, but when the guy fucking tears the guy's jaw off and sticks it in his eyes, that's a good effect. A lot of really fun practical violence in this. I do love that a lot. Overall, if you are a fan of just sort of slapstick, over the top, hyper violent like action comedy, this is definitely a film worth checking out. It's a pretty tight run time. It's pretty easily accessible. If you got Prime, you can just watch it right on there. It's a nice little overlooked gem that I'm glad that I finally got to discover. So I'll send it back to you, Joe.
Fuck yeah. My time to shine. This movie's fucking 10 years old now, and I can't fucking believe it. And I'm glad that Tim ended up liking it. This is one of those movies that I show to my friends because I'm like, guys, you gotta see this. This fucking rules. I showed it to Tanner when we were in college because I had to stay over at his place because my living facilities on campus lost power. And for whatever reason, they just decided to kick all of us out. They were like,
dumb.
Very, very dumb. They were like, "Yeah, you have no power. You can't stay here." And I'm like,
I'm glad that
I have everything for emergencies. What if the power comes back on? Yeah, no, you can't stay here. Okay, well, I don't have family that I can go with and stay with for a couple days. Do you have a plan? No, you just can't stay here. Webster University, everybody, they can go fuck themselves.
Yeah, I'm glad that I never lived on campus and I had family that was 30 minutes away from campus.
Yeah, meanwhile, I didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
So I'm lucky Tanner let me crash on his couch. The first of many times I would crash on Tanner's couch.
Yeah.
And then we watched Turbo Kid. But it's Turbo Kid's a fucking great movie to show friends. It's a great movie to watch with a crowd. It's a great movie to just watch just for the fuck of it, because it's just a really well-made fucking movie. It's a very tight runtime. I'll probably get into the soundtrack maybe a little bit later in general discussion, but the soundtrack's fucking awesome, man. I fucking love the soundtrack of this. For such a low-budget movie that I think, if I remember correctly, was mostly crowdfunded, they really utilized that budget.
Yeah.
And even if there are tiny mistakes of it, that's kind of the charm of it.
Yeah.
For instance, I noticed this on my most recent watch. It's one of the wide shots of the kid riding his bike in the rock quarry in the beginning when the opening credits are playing. But there's a car driving in the distance. Little mistakes like that are funny, but you know what? Because it's going for that low budget B movie vibe with cartoonish Bugs Bunny style levels of hyper violence. You let shit like that slide.
Yeah.
It feels very appropriate. But they really utilize that budget to the best of their ability. and they weirdly do a lot of solid world building as a result, funnily enough. Like, yeah, it's low budget, but like this feels like its own like little lived-in universe. Got a lot of Star Wars vibes. Funnily enough, from that specific like bar sequence where it's just like, oh yeah, this is just its own like little community.
Yeah.
And all these freaks go to it. The guy with the fucking skeleton for a hat, and then that he's arm wrestling at the beginning.
Yeah.
And the guy with the gas mask. Oh, and then I'm remembering the little guy on the bike pedal that plays that plays on the jukebox, which that bike comes back into play later. In arguably the most intense bit of violence. Speaking of the violence, it's appropriately intense and hard to watch when the time requires it to be, but that movie is very much focused on having fun, and all of the violence in this is so hyper intense to the point where it's cartoonish. Yeah, I think the directors even stated like they wanted to make a live action Bugs Bunny cartoon in a Mad Max universe, and it definitely feels it. Yeah. Performances are fucking great. You can never go wrong with Michael Ironside, who plays Zeus, the main antagonist.
Zeus, that was his name.
Yeah, Michael Ironside is such a fucking reliable actor. And when I say whenever I say reliable actor, I typically tend to mean it's like, yeah, no, they're usually good in everything that they're in. And Michael Ironside is like one of those actors where it's like, even if he's in a bad movie, he's usually the best part of it. But yeah, Michael Ironside's fucking great. I also love Skeletron is the one guy with the skeleton mask and the saw blades. He's doing a lot of work with having no lines, and it's fucking great. Yeah. The kid, played by Monroe Chambers, he is a great self-insert character. How would I describe a self-insert character to our audience that may not know what a self-insert character is? He's relatable enough to where you could kind of see yourself in, and it just makes him a little bit more rootable, and I think he does a great job of being that self-insert lead. But I'm gonna be real, the best performance in this, and maybe the best character in cinematic history, it's fucking Apple, man. Apple, played by Lawrence LaBeouf, is so fucking likable. It's infectious. Every time she's on screen, she is just hamming it up to a card. Like, she knows exactly what movie she's in, and she's seeing what she can get away with. Yeah, exactly. And she gets away with everything. It's like she is very charming. She is so likable, to the point where not only did she get a comic book based around her, but she got a prequel short film / music video that was made after this. Apple's the fucking best, and I think overall, just the movie is, it's a grand old time. It's very fun. There's a lot of fun little low budget filmmaking stuff that you can learn from it, but it's not one of those movies that has like a deep, meaningful message. I don't even really think there's that many themes in it. But you know what? Who gives a fuck about all that nerd shit? Who gives a fuck? The movie is just there to be fun and have fun. And it is very much a fun out of 10 movie. I love it.
Fun out of 10, that's good.
Fun out of 10. Yeah. Fun out of 10. That's what I'm rating it. And we will discuss some more things about Turbo Kid here after the commercial break.
It's time to finish this duel with Reborn the Monster! Horn of the Unicorn!
All right, welcome back from that ad break for yet another ad break. You like movies, you like canvas, you like color, moviepalette.com. Movie palettes are art pieces that have the primary color of every frame of a movie put out onto a canvas. As you can see, Tim is pointing towards his one for Mandy. Tanner has one for the movie Punch Drunk Love. I don't have one yet. I don't even know what fucking movie I want my movie palette for. I know I want to get one, though, but I want to get it for the right movie. But if you want to get your very own movie palette, we happen to have a bit of a discount code for you. If you go to moviepalette.com and you make a purchase and you enter in the discount section the code SQUAD15, you'll be saving 15% off of your purchase. Yeah, then you'll have your very own little art piece. You can get one for the movie Turbo Kid. You can get one for any of your favorite cult movies. You can get one for Snakes on a Plane, even. They have that option to choose your own movie. If you get one for Snakes on a Plane, I love you. That's all I have to say, is just I love you. But yeah, moviepalette.com. Thanks for sponsoring us, Movie Palette. And we're gonna get into general discussion on Turbo Kid. So one of my favorite running gags in this, and you probably it's something you wouldn't know unless you watch behind the scenes stuff, or you know anything about the directors of the movie or the producer for that matter. But they all three directors, the producer, Jason Eisner. They all make cameos in the movie, and you can absolutely tell who is who because all of them die at some point in the movie in violent ways.
Nice.
Two of the directors are the kids' parents, and they get killed in I think they get killed the most brutally.
Yeah.
Jason Eisner, I think, gets like a throwing star stuck in his eye at the pool pit party fight. And the other director gets his face shoved into the blades and fire. He's the bald one.
Nice. Yeah, that was something that I thought was interesting looking up this movie, is that it's like a 3-director team, and that I guess they direct all their movies as like a team of the 3 of them. That's very unusual and interesting. I
mean, hey, I guess if one needs a break, the other can take over, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, if they have a vision that aligns together and it works, go for it.
I was gonna say, they seem to be on the same page.
Yeah, for sure.
I will say this, and this may actually lead into my where I'd start talking about Kung Fury. The timing of not only the release of this movie, but the timing that I watched this movie was quite interesting, because this was kind of right at the start of what would end up taking over the last half of the 2010s as far as media was concerned. 80s nostalgia.
Yeah.
And this was kind of one of those precursor films before it really started to infect popular media, because the year after this movie came out, a little phenomenon happened to start, which I'm almost 100% certain fucked with the directors of Turbo Kid's next movie, because it's quite similar. But you may have heard of this little phenomenon called Stranger Things.
Yeah.
It was quite interesting, the timing of not only the release of that movie with Stranger Things, but again, their next movie would be The Summer of '84, which is a movie set in the 80s about kids in the suburbs on bikes with flashlights. Yeah, and they shot it before Stranger Things released, so they were probably watching the movie news, and they see this thing explode, and they're just like, "Oh, fuck." But
Hate to see it.
I'll say this. I'll say this. They beat them to the punch though
Yeah.
with 80s nostalgia, so they can at least pat themselves on the back for that if they really want to.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if they really would, but
I mean, I think to some degree, 80s nostalgia was fairly prevalent throughout the 2010s, just because, like, that was kind of when Vaporwave was, like, at its peak, and Vaporwave was definitely, like, a very 80s influenced genre of music.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of, like, synth pop coming back in, like, the early 2010s, like that kind of thing. A lot
and
of
then you know. Sorry,
I was
go
just gonna say, like, a lot of very 80s influenced music, and, you know, I think some 80s influenced movies too. And, like,
yeah.
Stranger Things really did kind of kick things into overdrive with, like, nostalgia, and in particular, like, a lot of period pieces just being like, oh, hey, you remember this thing? How about this thing? Remember all these things that were at this time that existed,
Right.
but probably weren't popular enough that they would be in somebody's house? Remember these things? We're gonna put a fucking Evil Dead poster in this one character's room, even though he didn't fucking
no
watch the
kid
Evil Dead.
No kid would have a fucking Evil Dead poster in their house.
No.
John Carpenter's The Thing was a flop when it came out. They don't have a fucking
Yeah.
poster for The Thing in it.
Yeah, The Thing was something that I noticed both, like, there's a reference to it in season 3 of Stranger Things, and also I think one of the characters in Bumblebee has a The Thing poster, and both
Yeah.
times I'm just like, fuck off.
I mean, man, if you want to talk about movies where that fucking drives you to the point of insanity, it's not an 80s movie. It's a 90s homage movie. Y2K, that movie that came out last year where Fred Durst fights robots. That movie has a lot of, like, oh, fuck off. That no one would have this. What are you talking about? That's like one of the prime examples of, like, ugh.
Yeah, I never watched that movie. I was a little curious, but I imagine being somebody who grew up through the late 90s and early 2000s, I would be irritated. I fucking got mad at, what was it? Fear Street 1994, because the AIM scene pissed me off so much. I'm just like, that's not how you AIM! God damn it!
Yeah. Thankfully, Turbo Kid doesn't have to worry about that. Though,
Yeah.
because, it's set in the not too distant future of 1997.
1997. Yeah, I do love that. Like that. Again, going into that, like, retro future kind of thing, it reminded me of Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon, which was set in the distant year of 2007. So I do love that gag of just like, we're doing an 80s movie thing where it's the distant future and it's a year that's already happened, but who gives a shit? It's for fun.
Yeah. Speaking of fun, I did say that I was going to bring up Kung Fury, and I never did.
Yeah.
So, funnily enough, around the same time that Turbo Kid came out, there happened to be a little short film that took over the internet called Kung Fury.
Mm-hmm.
And this is also going to be my thoughts on Kung Fury. For a low-budget short film that they just kind of put out for free on the internet, it is impressive. I'm not going to deny that. Like, the filmmaking that they do in Kung Fury is impressive. And as a filmmaker, I have to acknowledge that. But the reason why I can't get behind that, but I can get behind Turbo Kid, I don't necessarily feel any sincerity from the filmmakers of Kung Fury. I don't think they're making it to have fun. necessarily, or that they love necessarily what they're poking fun at.
That's
I think
fair.
they're just. I think it's mostly just them going hammy and ridiculous for the sake of it and not really giving a shit about what they're making about. The RKSS directors for Turbo Kid, they seem to have like a love for these types of movies, and they just want to make an well, I mean, as high a budget movie as they can with what they got, and just go all in because like these are the kinds of movies that they love. I don't necessarily feel that they love the kind of movies and ideas that they're poking fun of in Kung Fury necessarily.
That's fair. I mean, I also haven't seen that like since it came out, but I just remember being like, that was fun.
I also think they kind of take it a little too far with how goofy they go.
Yeah.
It's something. Like, if you like Kung Fury, that's great, but I don't think I can ever get into it. Though I fucking love that David Hasselhoff song, though.
Yeah.
I will say that. God. What else can I... Oh, I mentioned this in the group chat. I want to bring up Frederick the Arm Wrestler, who is a very funny character to me.
Yeah.
Frederick the Arm Wrestler, who is... They paint him to basically be like the Mad Max of this universe, where it's like he's like dressed like the man with no name, like he's a very like cowboy-esque character, like the hero of the wasteland, and then he is constantly getting his ass handed to him. Yeah, like you think he's gonna be like this badass hero who's gonna save the day, and then bam, gets his arm chopped off. Yeah. It's like, okay, he's got to escape. He's fucking digging a knife into his arm stump.
Yeah. I mean, this did come out the same year as Fury Road, and he does kind of fit that vibe of the Tom Hardy Mad Max.
Yeah.
Kind of taking the back seat to the real protagonist, and also, you know, getting his ass handed to him a little bit. Right.
You know, it's funny you bring up Mad Max, because what the most famous pull quote that I've seen for this movie is, it's Mad Max, but for BMX.
There we go.
And that is a point that I kind of want to bring up, too, is because, yes, one of the biggest things about this movie is they don't drive cars. They drive BMX bikes.
Yeah.
I think they've even stated that it was for story purposes, but I think you could argue that it's also for budgetary reasons. They're not going to have like a big car chase in it.
It's for sure. It's for sure cheaper, and also, but it also, you know, sets it apart. Like if you want a fucking post-apocalypse movie with big car chases, you're gonna watch Mad Max instead of the $64,000 one.
Exactly. Yeah, it's definitely like a budget thing, and I think they even know this too, that admittedly it is very silly that they're all riding on bicycles, but at the same time they know not to like really play into how silly it looks, because at the end of the day they still make those bike chases very intense.
Yeah.
Like they make them about as fun as any car chase can be. Mm-hmm. And I think when you have like a small budget and you're able to do that, that's just good filmmaking to me. Mm-hmm. Like if you can just make it fun, you're doing your job correctly. And they seem to do that pretty well with the BMX bikes.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of the bikes, I do love when Apple is kind of revived in the miasma. And then she just kind of picks up Chekhov's unicorn horn. and then just fucking rams that dude.
Yeah. That's one of the best images of that, is just her on the bike with the unicorn. Speaking of this, and I saw a Letterboxd review that criticized, I want to go back to Apple. And I do think that this actually kind of benefits her characters a little bit. But I saw a Letterboxd review that critiqued that Lawrence LaBeouf's French-Canadian accent kind of slips in there every so often. And yeah, you can definitely hear it, where it's like her accent's kind of like slipping in and out. I don't know if it's intentional, but given the big plot reveal of her character and just kind of the nature of that character, I think it kind of works to her benefit.
Yeah.
I guess spoilers if you've gotten this far. Spoilers. I mean, we talk about spoilers all the time in this. You should just expect spoilers.
Yeah.
But spoilers for the character of Apple. It's revealed later in the movie that she is a robot. And it's also very clear that she's got like a couple of screws loose. Because she's kind of nutso.
Yeah, a little bit.
Honestly, I can let that slide because I just view it as like faulty wiring on that part.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, there's like something wrong with the accent chip.
Yeah, and like that's not the kind of thing that ever really bothers me unless it's like super like one example of when it kind of bothers me is the dad in Us, like, is very clearly trying to not have an accent.
Right.
Like when it's an actor like really trying to fake an American accent and just not doing a good job at all, like then it starts to get kind of unintentionally funny.
Yeah.
Or annoying depending on the actor. I think it's funny in Us a little bit.
I'm thinking. I think another thing too is just as long as the movie's good and you like the character, you can kind of let some things slip here and there.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm thinking of like a negative example here. And funnily enough, he's been able to do it in all the other movies, but I'm thinking of X-Men Origins Wolverine in particular. Where, man, oh man, you can hear that Australian accent on Hugh Jackman half of the time.
That's fair.
Like, there's sometimes he's not even hiding it. He's just full-on Australian.
Yeah. He's just like, fuck it, if I do this, can I finally do a musical?
Yeah. As long as it's not Viva Laughlin. Google Viva Laughlin, I'm Still Standing. You'll get a good laugh. Man, oh man, I fucking dated this podcast. Fucking, what else is there to talk about that? I think I'm starting.
Yeah.
Well, no, actually, another thing that I'll bring up. So it's revealed in the movie that the Turbo Rider character that the kid reads comic books about was an actual person and like an actual like superhero.
Yeah.
Because he finds the crashed ship in the suit, and then he finds the emergency broadcast that I'm assuming it's like the chief of whatever like space police he's from or whatever the fuck the Turbo Rider mythos is.
Yeah.
Where he's like, "You are our last hope, soldier. We gotta fight them off with whatever we got." On the one hand, it is very dark when you consider the fact he was humanity's last hope before everything kind of just went to acid rain levels of apocalypse. That's the thing that they mentioned is acid rain left the land barren. You're just like, man, how badly did he fuck up? But at the same time, it's kind of fucking funny that he is humanity's last hope, and he somehow fucked up so bad that he ended up dying. There's a kind of like unintentional level of humor to the setup of this apocalypse, and then he gets the suit, and then that shit rules.
Yeah, and like the whole hoarding of water in particular is an issue that's becoming increasingly real in the real world. So seeing that in this movie, it's just like I don't like it. I don't like it one bit.
I don't like it either.
But at least the villain in this one is fairly inept. Like he was in control for so long But then fucking a Turbo Kid comes and obliterates him.
Yeah. And not even intention. Well, not even with the intention too. He just wanted to get Apple out of there.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's. I guess I'll bring this up too, because they thank it in the credits, and they also. I mean, it's also one of the rejected shorts. Have you ever seen the short film that this is based off of?
I have not.
Okay. It's a very interesting watch if you ever end up watching it. But initially, that short film that they ended up filming was supposed to be for the movie The ABCs of Death.
Yeah. I did see that they were credited for those. I can't remember like what short they ended up doing.
Yeah, they. I think they wound up on the DVD and still got credited, but their short film was T is for Turbo. They ended up getting replaced for T is for Toilet, which if you've never seen T is for Toilet, watch T is for Toilet. That's one of the best segments of the ABCs of Death.
Yeah, I think I remember the one you're talking about, and I don't want to describe it on the episode.
Yeah, don't describe it. Just let them discover it for themselves.
Yeah.
It's a worthy discovery. But you know, they initially shot it for that. It got rejected, but it ended up on the DVD. And I guess it caught the attention of enough people. In particular, a director that did end up being on the ABCs of Death. One Hobo with a Shotgun director, Jason Eisner.
Mm-hmm.
Who is a producer in this and also plays an extra that gets killed off. Yeah, that's mostly how that movie got made, and then I think they did some crowdfunding for it too. But the T is for Turbo short is a very interesting watch because it's basically like what if Zeus was just like some random like street thug, basically. Because it's just he's like he's got this random damsel in distress at gunpoint, and the kid just randomly discovers all of this like power equipment. That's the Turbo Kid costume, and the interaction in it. They do the same interaction in the movie where it's like, let her go, and who exactly are you supposed to be? I'm a superhero. And what exactly is your superpower? This! And in the short, like, he actually fires the laser beam out.
Yeah.
But I honestly like it better in the movie because like the kid is absolutely out of his element in the moment, and he kind of needs to grow into himself.
Yeah.
He's not the hero quite yet, but he's working his way up there. The short film is also very funny when it comes to the adaptation of Skeletron. Not Skeletron. Yeah, Skeletron. Yeah, that's right. Because he's in the short film as well, and he's played by one of the directors. And the costume hardly fucking fits on him, and it's kind of hilarious.
Nice.
Like, he's significantly more pathetic in the short film than in the movie, where he's actually kind of like a badass, like, henchman character.
Yeah.
But it's still worth a watch, because, man, oh man, just seeing the origins of where this came from is interesting.
Hell yeah.
I brought up Dread in my opening question. This is another one of those movies where they announced a sequel that I'm pretty sure is never going to happen.
Tragic.
This one I feel like they could make a sequel to, like, because they still keep making movies. The filmmakers have. The audience for this movie continues to grow. I mean, the audience has gotten to a point where they made a fucking video game about this movie that you can play on the Switch right now. And it's a side-scroller.
Nice.
But I remember they announced it like not too long after they released Summer of '84 that they were writing Turbo Kid 2.
Hmm.
And that was like 2017. It's been so long, man.
Yeah.
Can you please fucking make Turbo Kid 2? I want a Turbo Kid 2.
2 Turbo, 2 Kid.
I think it's even on their letterboxd as like an announced title.
Yeah.
That's just never gotten updated. I want them to update it. If they gotta fucking recast the kid, fine. Like Monroe Chambers is like 10 years older now, or make him older. Make the kid older.
We're just ending 2025 on the 2 movies we want them to finally make sequels of all these years later.
Right. God. But yeah, Turbo Kid 2. We need to make that happen soon.
Yeah.
Well, actually, funnily enough, because now I'm remembering the last episode and how I basically announced this. Do you now see the comparisons now that you've seen Turbo Kid with Predator Badlands?
Kind of. I mean, you got the female robot companion helping a guy on his quest who doesn't quite know how to handle himself. Yeah,
and granted, it was a very loose connection. I just thought it was very funny, and I was just like, "Holy shit, this is just Turbo Kid, but as a studio movie."
A little bit.
Yeah. Good. And hey, the villain at the end the villain at the end of Turbo Kid turns out to be a robot too, and the villain of Predator Badlands is also a robot. So. All right, I think I'm beginning to run out of steam on Turbo Kid. I think we're gonna now move on to our final thoughts on the cult classic Turbo Kid. Tim, go ahead and usher us out.
Yeah, Turbo Kid is a fun time. If you're a fan of just fun, violent action comedies and retro sci-fi kind of stuff, this is just a really fun time and a pretty solid underrated gem. Definitely worth a watch, and it's a nice quick watch and pretty easy to find. Yeah, I endorse it. I back it. Go watch it. Back to you, Joe.
All right, my final thoughts on Turbo Kid. I love this movie. I'll forever love this movie. Again, this was the movie that made me decide, you know what, yeah, I should go to film school. Because I wanted to make movies like Turbo Kid. I just wanted to make movies that were fun. And 10 years later, these movies are still very fun. I want to make different movies now. But I still think this movie's very fun. This movie... There's a lot of good stuff that you can learn about filmmaking while watching it, but also it's just a fun, goofy movie that you can put on at any time and have a blast with. If you've never seen it, chances are you're like one in a lot of people who haven't seen it, but you should totally watch it. It's a very easy to access movie. It's on like 15 streaming services. You can find this easily.
Yeah, I think it's on like the free ones like Tubi and Pluto and whatever else. Like I watched it on Prime. It's pretty easy to find.
Yeah, it's like you can find this movie easily, and you can find it for free even. It's well worth your time. It's a goofy, fun time. Watch it with friends. Have a good fucking time with it. It's just a really fun movie, and I will forever love it. And I'm not gonna lie, for the movie that I chose to be, this was technically my birthday episode, but we didn't release it on my birthday. I'll say that I'm happy that for my birthday episode, I chose a movie that I still love, and was a movie that I was not necessarily worried that I wouldn't love that much anymore. Because we almost ended up doing Super, and I'm very scared to revisit that movie. But, you know who I'm not scared to revisit? You! the person watching slash listening to this episode of Bomb Squad Matinee, our last one of 2025. And I guess because it's our last one of 2025, it's probably a great time for me to make this announcement, because I talked about wanting to make different movies. Yes, I'm coming out of my I don't want to ever make another movie again thing for one last movie. You may have seen it if you follow us on Facebook, but I have finished a short film script. We are going into pre-production here very soon. We're going to take our time on pre-production for it, but I am making another movie. It's going to be called I Want to Go to the Video Store. It's going to be a much darker movie than you guys are used to the ones that, if you've seen any of my movies, it's going to be significantly darker than the ones that I've made. Kind of more on point with the experimental films that I've made. It's going to be dark. It's going to be very personal. It's going to be very experimental, but it's also going to be kind of a narrative. It's going to be a lot of things, and I want to keep the plot as vague as possible. Just know that the short film has a lot to do with coping mechanisms, nostalgia, and getting old. And also depression. There's a lot of depression. Tim's read the script. There's a lot of depression in it.
It's a good script.
Thank you. But that I wanted to make that announcement for the last one of the year. I am making another movie, and I don't know when it's going to come out. I anticipate us shooting the thing towards. I want to try and get it towards August. Like, I really want to focus as much as possible on pre-production. I want to make this thing as good as possible, because I want this to be my last movie as a director, and I want to go out with a bang. My co-director, my buddy Charles, he's gonna help me out with this. We're kind of in line on exactly how this thing is supposed to be. We pretty much see eye to eye on it, and he will help me co-direct it. He wants to also direct anything that I've got written. I kind of want to primarily focus more on screenwriting. Charles wants to direct more, and you know what? I'm going to let Charles do that. Charles is a fascinating character, so I'm going to help usher him into the film world. It's going to be a lot of fun. If you want to find out about updates on that, check out our Facebook page. We don't really use our Twitter that much, but I think we have one still. Check out our Instagram for all the fun updates on Bomb Squad Productions. If you're still watching after this, thanks for listening to me ramble about my next short film. Why don't you leave us a like down there if you liked us, and then hit that subscribe button if you loved us. Hit the bell icon to get updates on our latest videos. While you're still down there, comment below. Have you seen Turbo Kid? Do you like Turbo Kid? What's your favorite moment from Turbo Kid? What's your favorite cult film? Comment below and let us know. If you want ways to support us, go check out our Patreon. $5 commentary tracks, $10 you get the commentary track and a shout out at the end of our videos. Speaking of shout outs, we got a shout out Tanya Kraft, Tanner's mom. Thank you as always for supporting us. We love you, Tanya. Thank you so very much. Check out our Twitch. We don't really use it too often, but we're gonna try and rectify that just a little bit. We'll probably stream some more games in the future. Tim, do you happen to know what the next episode's gonna be?
I do. We are kicking off 2026 with Avatar, Fire and Ash. It's gonna be a blazing good time.
Hell yeah. I still haven't seen it. I need to get on that. But
Yeah.
Stay tuned for that. It's gonna be a lot of fun, and we will see you next time in the new year. So happy new year. I'll see you later, and peace, bitches. I'm sorry,
Eyes,
Tanner, I had
throat,
to.
genitals.
You could totally be Turbo Kid.
Just slid my ticket across the table and I said, "Sorry guys, I gotta see about a girl."